We're right down the street, so me and my staff have been up here a couple of times. We already put money in here. Oh, you did? Yeah, by the way, I put $200,000 in right away.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing this morning? We're going to ask that you take your seats. The program is going to be getting started.
I know, right?
Isn't this an exciting day as you take your seats? Everybody give a round of applause. Come on, it's an exciting day. My name is Marcia Fitz-Phillips, and it has been my honor to work with this program, to work with the launching of the first Black-owned bank in this region. We're going to be getting started, and so as everyone takes their seat, I'm going to step away from the stage and then welcome up, and we'll get the program started. So we'll be ready in just about 1 moment.
Right here? Right here? Yep. You sit up here?
Okay, we're about to get the program started. At this moment, I would like to welcome to the stage Peter Frosch. He is the CEO of Greater MSP.
Hello, welcome. Good morning, everyone. It's been a long winter. Spring is just around the corner. New season, new life. We're here to do something new today. And it's so great to see everyone. My name is Peter Frosch. I'm the president and CEO of Greater MSP, this region's economic development partnership. And Greater MSP is so proud to be part of the team that helped bring First Independence Bank to our community. This effort is part of our focus to create a new model of inclusive economic growth in this region, an economy that values everyone, invests in everyone, and benefits from everyone realizing his or her full potential. In the wake of the murder of George Floyd, many leaders in this community resolved to create systemic change. Well, capital is a system, and the opening of First Independence Bank is evidence of change in how that system works and who it works for our community. This is quite a story that you're going to hear about this morning. Executives from 5 major banks, Wells Fargo, US Bank, Bremer, Bank of America, and Huntington. The executives came together to do something that likely has no precedent in this country. They pooled their resources to bring a competitor into this market for the sole purpose of accelerating progress on racial economic opportunity. Tim, Lori, Tim, Lori, Mike, Gene, Katie, thank you for your boldness. Chairman Kelly of First Independence Bank, you took a chance on us and on our community by moving forward with the first ever expansion outside of Detroit. We thank you for your trust. So 18 months of relationship building and problem solving brings us to this moment, an unlikely partnership, creating a new institution that brings new cultural capability to our shared work of increasing home ownership, business ownership, and expanding access to economic opportunity for everyone in our community. This bank is evidence of how we are choosing transformation over incremental change. It's an example of how communities are becoming action. This bank is a source of hope, it's a measure of justice, and it is a down payment on the price of progress that we will take in full over the months and years to come. Now, many of us know that there's a lot of positive change happening all across our community. That change can be hard to see, and it's important that it is visible. So as of today, change has an address on University Avenue. I'm so honored that happens on Zoom too. I'm so honored that Chairman Kelly and the entire First Independence Bank family are going to be part of our community. Welcome. We are with you today, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to walk with you and work with you and make some history together in Minneapolis. So with that, it's my honor to welcome Chairman Kelly to the stage. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's try that again. Good morning, Minneapolis.
Good morning.
Good morning to the Twin Cities. I'm very excited to be here. I will tell you, it is absolutely amazing what you're seeing today. This is beyond anything we dreamed about.
All right.
Let me start this off the right way. Pray for me. I brought our Reverend all the way from Detroit. I need prayer. Reverend Anthony, thank you for being here. The FIB team, and I'm going to call names. I know you're not supposed to do this, but there are times you need to show your gratefulness. And right now is one of those. Jim, Demetrius, Tim, Helda, Danielle, our team from Detroit here. We got two leaders there holding it down, Doris and Bessel, Kowski, and others. And so we want them to know that we have them in our minds. Our new members here, and I'm not going to introduce the leader because he gets special introduction later. Talk about that, but Bachel, Auntie, Dewa, Andrew, who have joined our team. I want you to be sure to meet them and thank them for their efforts. Our board of directors, I mentioned again, Reverend Anthony, who's a strong stalwart there in Detroit. Thank you for being here, and Earl Newsom on the board of directors. Our ownership, the Don Davis Living Trust, keep up this here. Glad to have my cousin here and be here to carry on the legacy of the family. Thank you so much, Kiko, for being here. Thank you. Our public relations team, Lisa Wilmore, Mario Morrow, Ashley Williams, who's a millennial lead, our next generation board. Let that be a hint to what we're planning to do here in this market. Leadership of the FDIC, also Greg Bonton, Chris Ashford, Teresa Savanti, John Bartlett, and the leadership at the Michigan Department of Financial Services, Anita Fox and Derek Rodriguez. But let me say what's really important. Relationships really matter. What you're seeing today happen in the midst of COVID, which means this is the first time I have met some of these individuals. And I'm going to call them out by name. Mike Jones. Where are you, Mike? We just met today. But Mike was critical to this. There's Mike back there. Raise your hand, Mike. I want people to see you all. Please don't be shy. Raise your hand. Come on up front, Mike. You can't be back there hiding, hoping that the teacher doesn't call on you. Come on up front. With him is Darryl Germany, the regional president of Minnesota for TCF Bank. Tim Welch, U.S. Vice Chair. Where are you, Tim? Y'all come up here and stand by me for just a minute, because today we're going to show some gratefulness for the work that you all done. As I talk about these individuals, I want you to know they were on calls with me sometimes weekly talking about the potential of what we're doing. And I'm not going to take it for granted their steadfastness, their desire to make a difference. Gene Crane, Bremer Bank, come on up here, Gene. Katie Simpson, Bank of America. And where's Lori Norquist? Come on up here, Lori. And I know I got a special representative coming from Wells Fargo a little later because of some other issues, but I want the world, I want the Twin Cities, I want Minneapolis to see what can happen when individuals decide they want to make a difference. And you just saw Peter Fry, she was the other partner in this. These individuals with me consistently You know how some leaders will say, I'm going to be there, but then they send a representative? This group didn't do that. And I want the world to hold you accountable for being here for us. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out. I want to say thank you again to Peter Frosch and the Greater MSP. They ran this process like we were Google or Amazon. The fact that we're here today, they treated us with respect and the honor that was deserving of us being here. And I want to say thank you, Peter and Joel, and the way that you managed this. Marsha Pitts Phillips, many of you know her. If you don't know Marsha, you must not be from the Twin City area. Lynn Casey, where are you, Lynn Casey? You all know I'm off script by now. Lynn, where's Lynn Casey? Well, since she's so far in the back, come on up front. I'll keep speaking to you. I want to say thank you. And then to the McKinsey team, McKinsey and Company, Caitlin Van Kooten and Frank and Ponsa, they work behind the scenes to help make this happen. And I just do not want to take that for granted. Our investment bankers, Donnelly Penman, John Donnelly, Andrew Christian, and Greg Cunningham work tirelessly, along with our legal counsel, Peter Wasik and Brian Rennan of Nelson Mullins. So those are my unscripted remarks. Let me say it's a historic day of First Independence Bank. This is the first venture outside of our headquarters region in Detroit, where we've served the community for 52 years as of next month. We've been thinking about expanding for some time, and when I got the call from one of the partner banks, I jumped at the chance to explore the opportunities. That exploration took the form of really 3 questions. First, could we make a difference in the community? The answer was yes. Your presence here today demonstrates that. Second, could we make a branch work financially? The answer also was yes. That was due in large part to the members and leaders of the 5 banks we just talked about a little bit earlier. But I also want to acknowledge Pride, a Project for Pride in Living, who made this location possible after accepting Wells Fargo's generous donated site to PPL. And finally, I want to say most importantly, the last question is, would this community welcome a Black-owned bank from out of state, one that is committed to serving the entire region with a particular focus on the Black community that is also under-resourced? You made me feel at home when we came here. I want you to know that there were many individuals we started having conversations with. Many of you, again, I shouldn't call names, but many of you are standing out here and I see your faces. But I do want to acknowledge one special pairing that I want the world to know the weight and the length they went to. Don and Sandra Samuels are the greatest example of hospitality. They demonstrated that their love for Minneapolis outweighed the fear of a pandemic, and let me explain. They invited me and another stranger into their home for dinner in the midst of a pandemic. That level of hospitality was greater than even my fear of worrying about going into their home. And so I just want to say to Don and Sandra Samuel, thank you. Don, are you here by chance? Okay, maybe he's not here, but I want you all to know that that's the Minneapolis spirit. Before I ask Danielle Squires from Wells Fargo to say a few words, I'd like to the elected officials that I think I have here. So again, if I don't call your name, just raise your hand and say your name, but let me share who I have on the list right now. U.S. Senator in Klobuchar's office, Kim Hunt. Are you here, Kim? There's Kim. Thanks for being here, Kim. State Senator Bobby Joe Champion. State Senator Champion here. State Senator Carrie Disick. State Representative Esther Abate. State Representative, thank you for being here. State Representative Jim Davney. State Representative Chloe Herr. State Representative Mohammed Noor. State Representative John Thompson. And I know this special guest is here, the Hennepin County Commissioner, Angela Conley. She kindly reminded me that we are in her district, and the second location is going to be in her district. So we got work to do, and we're going to ask you to hold us accountable. Again, thank you all so much for your service, leaders of the community. We appreciate what you do in giving in the municipal and the state level of your service. And at this time, I'd like to call up Danielle on behalf of Wells Fargo. Danielle.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
So I think because Chairman Kelly has announced that he has brought his program here, I can confidently open with, this is the day the Lord has made, let us rejoice in it. So I thank you and good morning, everyone. My name is Danielle, and I lead diverse segments for the Corporate and Investment Bank for Wells Fargo. It's an absolute honor to be here with all of you today as we celebrate the grand opening of Independence Bank, the first Black-owned bank in Minnesota. I do want to take you back in time a bit to March of 2020, when Wells Fargo pledged to invest $1 million in Black-owned banks, also known as minority depository institutions, or MDIs. The goal of our commitment to MDIs is to drive significant, positive, long-term impact to the communities they serve by offering a capital investment, but also by forming partnerships with these banks so that they can pursue strategies that will enhance their growth. Since 2020, Wells Fargo has invested in 13 MDIs across the country, including First Independence. So technically, I can't pick a favorite MDI, but let's just say First Independence is extremely near and dear and important to all of us. For one, we were able to donate, as Kenneth mentioned, the branch to BPL, which leased it to First Independence. We also provided talent, including the market leader, Damon Jenkins, and the branch manager, Andrew Ndibwe. Along with 4 other local bank partners that you have heard today, we are helping build its book of assets, and we're all making our nationwide ATM network available for First Independence customers to use without incurring fees. That is the mobility of money. And Peter sort of touched on it earlier, but one question that my bank colleagues and I often get asked is why we as competitors joined forces to help bring First Independence Bank to the Twin Cities. And also, as Peter noted, the murder of George Floyd in May of 2020 gave everyone a lot to think about, including the recognition that we all need to do things differently, and differently is the key. We need to do things better to reduce racial wealth gaps. As financial institutions, each of us has made progress in this area. However, we knew there was a lot more to be done. And so in late 2020, in conjunction with Greater MSP, we began to talk about what we might be able to do together that none of us could do alone. And one idea that rose to the top, as we spoke about, was helping to bring an established, full-service, Black-owned and controlled bank to the Twin Cities to fill some of the gaps in the region's financial system. The bank would need to have a successful track record, excellent leadership, and unwavering commitment to make a difference to the community. And that bank is clearly First Independence Bank. We are also certain that Minnesota, Minneapolis, this community, and everyone here today also needed First Independence Bank. This is truly an important day for the history of the Twin Cities and our entire financial ecosystem. I want to emphasize that adding First Independence to the Twin Cities is not an either-or proposition. This is a both-and opportunity. Having multiple choices to serve our communities is the right thing for our entire region. And together we can work to further address the wealth gap and significant economic disparities in communities of color. Together we can advance racial equality and economic opportunity for everyone. It really does take many hands to make something like this come together. And truly we know many hands make light work. And the expectation is everyone in this room is a part of those many hands. I'd like to, again, this is what happens when you're third in line, by the way, acknowledge those who helped us bring the essential project to fruition, because you can never say thankful and how grateful you are enough. And again, we'd like to thank Jean Crane at Forever Bank, Tim Welsh at US Bank, Katie Simpson at Bank of America, Mike Jones at Huntington Bank, and I think a second round of applause would be perfect. So you'll note a colleague of mine came up earlier from Wells Fargo, and I also want to especially recognize my newly retired colleague, Lori Yorquist, who has been a champion for First Independence Bank's entry for the past 2 years. Lori, we're proud to say that your legacy will live on in leaders like Damon in this branch that we're dedicating today, and in the broader community of First Independence that will serve for years to come. So thank you, Lori. Finally, not many metro areas can say that a Black-owned bank is part of their community, and now, with the opening of First Independence, the Twin Cities is one of them. Right. So congratulations to the Twin Cities. And while Kenneth or Damon didn't ask me to say this, I'm sure they're accepting applications today from everybody to open new banks. Thank you all. Congratulations.
I would like to say that was not a suggestion. Thank you, Danielle. Thanks for being here with us. And I want to acknowledge some of the public officials. I want to acknowledge one that just stepped in, Andrea Jenkins, council person from Minneapolis. Thank you for being here. At this point, I'd actually like to call up our partner, who I had a chance to really work with. You heard Wells Fargo and their generosity in donating this facility. But this is a gentleman who has some really deep roots here in this area. And in fact, not only did we get to negotiate and work on this, but he also simultaneously was very instrumental in introducing us to influentials here in the city. And so I want to call up Paul. I don't even have to say his last name because you all know. Come on up, Paul.
Well, thank you, Kenneth, and just such an honor to be here today and to be part of this celebration. I want to say thank you. Peter said this. I want to say thank you to everyone at First Independence for betting on the Twin Cities, for putting your trust in this community. There's been a lot of work going from this community to First Independence, but you, in turn, have made a bet on us. And I really appreciate it. We're grateful for that investment in this community. For those of you who know, Project Prime Living has been around for about 50 years. Our mission is to build hope, assets, and self-reliance across our community. And I can't think of a single effort that more centers that mission than the expansion of First Independence. This work is always a heavy lift. The 5 banks that have been involved here, we have been working on community development for many years. And I really do appreciate and respect the work that has gone into this. But this is stepping out, and I think in a fundamentally different way. And a special shout out to Wells Fargo, who donated the site to PPL, and we in turn are leasing to First Independence. That role is fairly straightforward for PPL. Can you accept the donated piece of property in Langhorne? The answer is yes. Seriously, we view this as an investment in our community, and we will steward that investment with great care. That stewardship role really stretches PPL precisely in the ways that we want to be stretched. Using the PPL platform to build capacity in the community. We view this expansion as an effort that builds capabilities and muscle in communities of color, in the Black community, for the long haul. That's exactly what our communities have been calling for many years. So this isn't new. Building capacity within community. We've done great work here for many years, but we haven't really built that underlying muscle. And this is an expression, a very specific expression of that muscle. Our long-term hope here at this site is actually to redevelop the site into affordable housing, possibly mixed-use developments, have the space for First Independence to expand here, perhaps other community organizations. So it really is a long-term, 3, 4, 5-year even effort to redevelop this site. Our folks deserve to be here. We deserve to be on this site. This is a fabulous site, close to both downtowns, on the light rail line. And I will interject, as a former deputy mayor of St. Paul, we will mention St. Paul here today, We're very close to St. Paul, with all due respect to the mayor of Minneapolis. We are close to St. Paul. But what a vibrant stretch, right? The University Avenue is a vibrant place, close to the U of M, close to the state capitol, close to jobs and all the entertainment and everything along University Avenue. We deserve to be here, and so we're just so thrilled. I just want to say a special thanks to the staff at Wells Fargo who worked with us in the negotiation, to Kenneth Damon and the team at First Independence. We couldn't be more proud to be a partner in this, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul. And I'll get back to the cities. You heard me say Minneapolis, you heard me say Twin Cities. Now let it be real clear that I've said St. Paul. At this time, I'd like to call up the Lieutenant Governor. It is such an honor that you are here with us today. We'd love to hear from you and the representation that you make here in the state of Minnesota. So thank you for being here. Come on out.
Well, what an exciting day. The sun is just coming out. I hope it sticks around. It's been a long couple of weeks, y'all. But good morning, everyone. I am so excited to be here. And as Paul said, we deserve to be here. You deserve to be here. And let me just welcome you to Minnesota. We are incredibly excited. Chairman Kelly, thank you. This is a hopeful moment in a time and a place, in a state where we could use some hope. So, thank you. To all of the incredible leaders who are here today, thank you. And thank you for your vision and commitment to this community and to this state. Thank you for everything that you do to make Minnesota a great place to call home. So, Lieutenant Governor, I have the honor to welcome you officially to Minnesota. And I have a few good friends over in Michigan. My tallest friend is your Lieutenant Governor, Garly Gilchrist, to be specific. So I'm incredibly excited that we can say in both Michigan and Minnesota, we have this incredible institution. I'm grateful for First Independence Bank to creating a more equitable economy and to doing it in a way where we can feel truly embraced by this institution. It's a value that the governor and I share as partners here in this space today, an equitable economy. I don't have to tell you that Black communities have been systemically excluded from opportunities in Minnesota's economy, leading to significant gaps in wealth. And we know that there is a lot of work to be done to address this historic systemic injustice. But that's why the governor and I have worked with business leaders across the state to propose investments that support Black, Indigenous, and community of color-owned small businesses like Launch Minnesota, and fund partnerships to better allow nonprofits to provide businesses development and technical assistance to more business owners and entrepreneurs from Black, Indigenous, and communities of color. But just like the team here at First Independence and the businesses and nonprofits who are supporting this opening note, when we talk about an equitable economy, it is about investing in economic opportunities and businesses, but it is also about investing in whole people, whole families, and whole communities. It's about investing in housing and education and childcare, the workforce behind the workforce, to make sure that everyone has the opportunities and tools to thrive. And it's about making sure that our children, our young people, and I mean all of our children, feel seen and heard and valued and have the opportunities they need to grow up and to thrive and to reach their full potential. And First Independence Bank, this place, this space on University Avenue, kind of smack dab in the middle between Minneapolis and St. Paul, is part of that vision. It is part of that vision. So that's why I'm proud to stand here today and just recommit and celebrate with all of you about what is possible and just our shared values for a better future. Governor Walz proclaimed this month of April as Financial Capability Month across the state. So we're in a good spot to celebrate that. I think it's a fun way to celebrate. But in all seriousness, you know the importance of this work that you do every day. Empowering and educating folks to harness their ability to build a financial future for themselves, for their family, and for their community benefits all Minnesotans. We are excited to be here at the start of this process, increasing inclusivity and representation here and across the state. And we further encourage continuous collaboration between businesses and the nonprofit community, the faith community, and the incredible leaders who got us here today. And I would just like to reiterate the words of Damon Jenkins. This is a Black-owned bank, not a Black-only bank. This is for all of us. I heard you. I heard you. I got to call my husband. We have a financial conversation that we need to have. But I look forward to the opportunities that the First Independence Bank is going to bring to our community and to our state. So I am thrilled to be here. I know that we have more folks to hear from, but just what an honor to be part of today. It truly is. So Gichi Miigwech, big thanks. I welcome you to Minnesota, but also as an Anishinaabe, I welcome you to the place, frankly, that was Minnesota Makoche before it was Minnesota. So you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
thank you so much, everyone.
That was rich. Heartfelt, very rich. And for those of you who may have missed that, she said before Minnesota, there were people here.
That's right.
And you're standing here in their arms.
Right.
Back to St. Paul and Minneapolis. The mayor of St. Paul is a fraternity brother of mine. He could not be here, so for all of you who are wondering why he's not here, he had a conflict. So I'm speaking on behalf of him as an Alpha brother. Brother Carlos, who's our president, be sure to send the word back. But he did ask Mayor Fry before I bring you up, when is First Independence opening a branch in St. Paul? I just want you to know that on the record. So thank you, Carlos Lee, the Alphas, and my fraternity brother and brother-in-law, Percy Core. Be sure that Mayor gets that message. And be sure he gets that message. But at this time, I have the pleasure of bringing up Mayor Fry. I don't think he needs an introduction either. Come on up, Mayor Fry.
Wow. Thank you so much, Chairman Kenneth Kelly. We are honored to have you here, and President Damon Jenkins. This is a really big deal for Minneapolis. This joke has been kind of beaten to death at this point, but I'll tell you a true story about my ride over here. We were driving down University from downtown Minneapolis, and as we were approaching the border between Minneapolis and St. Paul, I was getting increasingly anxious and concerned. And I asked my staff, no, seriously, where is this place? And I got so concerned, I asked them to call ahead just to make sure that First Independence Bank, the first Black-owned bank in Minnesota, was very much in our city, Minneapolis. We are so pumped to have you here. And by the way, we appreciate you regardless of where you're from. Speaking as someone who is from the East Coast, who calls Minnesota and Minneapolis my home, and wants to do good work here. The work that you are doing is exceptional. But in order to understand this particular moment and the momentous occasion that this is, it's also important to recognize where we've come over the past 100 plus years. 1904, 1905. There's an individual that you may or may not have heard of named Madison Jackson. He was the first Black homeowner in this very neighborhood not too far from here. Now, when that home was built and as Mr. Jackson was about to move in, there were a number of prominent individuals and elected officials and business leaders that gathered not too far from his home to protest his presence and to make clear that he and his family were not welcome in the neighborhood. Then, not too long later, my understanding is that a friend of his, William Simpson, settled right over here in Prospect Park, owned a home. His presence gave rise to some of the very first restrictive covenants that ran with the land that were then perpetuated from generation to generation in our city, ending up with a very sad reality that we now have maps at the city. We have maps that quite literally designate certain areas as slums for blacks and Jews. Add to those restrictive covenants intentional segregation, financial practices that prevented people of color, and specifically our black community, from generating equity and intergenerational wealth, zoning practices that prevented all but the wealthiest people in society from living in certain neighborhoods in the city, and you have this horrible recipe for some of the massive gaps that we have seen. Now, this pushes back in fine form in that work. This pushes back in a way where we are not going to repeat the harms and the precision of the past harms for the next 100 years. This makes sure that the precision of our solutions is just as strong as the harms of the past. We're doing a ton of work at the city, from a commercial property development fund that ensures that black-owned businesses can not just own their own real estate, but can also own the underlying property. A 2% loan program also focused on BIPOC residents and businesses, which, by the way, has shown data that some of those same issues are still perpetuating themselves, because around 80% of those that apply that are white have the funding that they need. That is not the same statistic for people who are black. But what it shows is we have a whole hell of a lot of work to do. And the fact that it feels like we all are rallying around a common cause right now, the fact that you've got partners from Wells Fargo to Bank of America, from Huntington to US Bank, from Brenner to Greater MSP and PPL, these are tremendous partners that are stepping up. And know that our city is with you. I'd be remiss if I did not mention our council president, Andrea Jenkins, who's here, council member Robin Wanzen-Warlova, who's also here. By the way, it's your ward, right? It is her ward. Yeah, give her a round. And the most terrifying piece, if I've missed any other council members that hadn't been announced yet, raise your hand, but my deepest apologies. Here's the bottom line. The bottom line is, collectively and with the extraordinary work of First Independence Bank, we're starting to right the wrongs of the past. We are seeing black excellence happen every single day in our city. This is just the latest example. We are proud to partner with you. We're proud on this joyous occasion. Thank you so much.
I want to say thank you. It takes understanding history not to repeat it, but most importantly to look forward. And so I just want to say thank you for that level of reflection. It reminds us of from whence we've come as we look forward to where we're going. And so as I close out the formal portion of this program, there are a couple of things I'd like to do. One, you've heard his name several times, and you'll get to hear him speak later this evening at the social event, but please stand up. Our regional market president, Damon Jenkins, you've heard his name. And I'm telling you, I'm getting cheers. I'm watching Mom back there. This is exciting, and I will tell you, be real clear. We were very specific that our coming into Minneapolis was leveraging our infrastructure. Our opportunity was not we were going to import people into Minneapolis. We wanted to lift leaders in Minneapolis, and Damon is a great example of that. So I just want to tell you, we appreciate what you're doing. We appreciate the commitment you made to come on when it wasn't a done deal. He stepped up and accepted the challenge, and I just want to say thank you in front of it. And Laurie Norquist, again, I want to say thank you because sometimes you have to have people who are willing to get in the ditch with you. And Laurie Norquist, where are you again? Ray, I want you to raise your hand. I want people to see you. You were in the ditch with me on this. Thank you. As I just shared, Damon's mother is here, and Damon has deep roots in this community. It was important to us as we talked about ensuring we had an opportunity to use our infrastructure and lift leaders in this community. And he has the pedigree to do it. He's worked for U.S. Bank. He's worked for Wells Fargo, and he has the steadfastness and the ability to really lead the organization. We're very excited about that. Secondly, I want to thank all of you to be here. Your presence means a lot. It's heartfelt, it's welcoming, and it says that this matters. And Mayor Frye, your comments a moment ago, and Governor, all of them, we, the fabric of what will make us better here in the Twin Cities. So I just want to say thank you for that. And finally, it's that time. Let's see what's under the wrap, so to speak, in terms of now doing the ribbon cutting. And so we want to invite you to spend some time with us today. We've got a reception on behalf of the community later on this afternoon at 5:30. But I just want to say thank you all for being here. It means a lot. This is a start, as Peter started this program, not the finish. So we hope to see many of you as customers helping us, knowing that we're not just a quote black-owned bank or black-only bank. We're a bank of the community. And so thank you so much as we conclude this program. Thank you for being here.
What's going on? I need to email you. Yeah. How are you doing?
She's gonna make sure this is all over social media.
Oh yeah, we're going live right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is your setup?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So I will definitely have to touch you. Okay, I will though. Yeah, how are you doing? Oh, yeah, anyway.
Let's do well.
It's always a fun.
Learn something over there.
Great. I would not know you do anything. Like this. Great. I enjoyed it. Like that.
I'll be able to do it. I got work to do, but I'm going to come back. Here, I'm leaving today, though, so I'm going to be here for an hour. Find out exactly.
I'm late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm late. I'm doing yesterday. One cigar. Six. Excuse me, sorry. Hey, Lisa.
Right here down the middle, so everybody, right here, right here.
Hey, Lisa.
All
Is the
righty,
ribbon opening happening right here?
let's move in.
I'm just going to like block.
That's, we have the ribbon. All righty. It's upside down. Yep. Okay, and let's give the scissors to, yes.
Those make it through TSA.
Let's bring it up some. Let's bring it up some, please. Up a little higher. All righty.
Are we starting at 6?
But,
Fab 6.
oh, I'm sorry. You're not quite yet. Everybody, we're going to do a countdown from 6. All ready? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, no problem.
I'm in Georgia. I'm in bro.
Okay, God. Oh yeah, you're fine. I have it. No, I'm fine. I'm just like getting footage. Thank you. Okay, and I think we're done. No, I'm okay. Thank you so much. Huh? Yeah. I'm not like